सागराचे इतिहासाचे जनमनाचे गीत आमुचे जागराचे गीत आमुचे आकाशाचे गीत आमुचे सागराचे इतिहास
What happened about the song?
Yes, sir, within a minute. थोड़ा नेटवर्क इश्यू है.
Okay.
मराठीचे दिवे लख घरोघर संत महंतांचे विरागी गीत आमुचे वादळाचे इतिहासाचे जनमनाचे गीत आमुचे जागराचे तंतु तंतु संघर्षाचा पैठणीत भिनलेला
नक्षीतच पक्षी पक्षी विजयाचा विरलेला
सोन पहाट उदयाचे गीत आमुचे उजेडाचे इतिहासाचे जनमनाचे गीत आमुचे जागराचे प्रज्ञेचा सूर्य नवा शब्द शब्द उजळून गेला समतेचा संगराचा अर्थ ढाळून गेला विराट विशाल संस्कृतीचे गीत आमुचे जीवनाचे इतिहासाचे जनमनाचे गीत आमुचे जागराचे गीत आमुचे आकाशाचे गीत आमुचे सागराचे इतिहासाचे जनमनाचे गीत आमुचे जागराचे
Thank you, Gaurav. All participants kindly start their cameras, please. All participants. Thank you. So on behalf of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Marathwada University, Chhatrapati Sambhaji Nagar, UGC Malviya Mission Teachers Training Center, I welcome all the selected participants to this NEP Orientation and Sensitization course. This is the 5th NEP Orientation and Sensitization course being held in our university. And we are really fortunate that there are 8 themes of this NEP Sensitization and Orientation course, in which we have Indian knowledge system, ICT, students, diversity and inclusive education, then academic leadership, governance and management. Then we have research and development under NEP, then higher education and society, then holistic and multidisciplinary education and skill development. So there will be 8 experts to highlight on this particular theme to all of us. So I hope that as I have already told that you will take something in your bags uh, when it comes to the NEP orientation and sensitization course. So not taking much of time, already in the keynote speaker, today's resource person, and our first resource person and a keynote addresser, Anita Sharma ma'am, has joined our cloud meeting. So I welcome her also to this Malviya Mission Teachers Training Center. Also, our president, Professor Satish Patil sir, has joined this cloud meeting. So I welcome him also to this uh, inaugural session. So not taking much of time, I would now give a brief introduction of our resource person, Dr. Anita Sharma ma'am. It is really an honor that she is a member, General Council, NCRT, Technical Board member, Bureau of Indian Standard, then governing body member, UEEM, Universalization of Elementary Education, Government of Delhi, then also member, Curriculum Committee, CBSE, then National Coordinator, Curriculum, Bharatiya Shiksha Board, then represented India in UNESCO meet held in South Korea way back in 2015, also represented India in climate reality leadership meet held at USA way back in the year 2018. Then also have authored of 11 books of mathematics with Encyclopedia Britannia and S. Chand. Then authored a book of Science and Art of Happy Living. Book unravels the teaching of Lord Krishna for youth. Then Lifetime Achievement Award from Aryabhat Samman for contribution in mathematics education by All India Ramanujan Mathematical Club. Then Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya Award conferred to one of the educationists from India for contributing in education at grassroots level. Then she has also received President Grant to celebrate the legacy of eminent mathematician Ramanujan. Then also member of National Focus Group, New Education Policy, Mathematics Education to prepare National Curriculum Framework. Then contributed in more than 200 documents, textbook, manuals prepared by CBSE, NCRT, NIOS, DST. Then also she is a ideator and material developer for CBSE International Curriculum Mathematics. So indeed, it is really an honor and pleasure for all of us to have her here as a resource person. So I would now request Anita Sharma ma'am to deliver a short inaugural address to all of us.
First of all, my heartfelt thanks to. Okay. So I welcome you all for this teachers training program, and as you know that according to new education policy, lot education policy, national education policy in its true spirit, then it is only the teacher who is standing in the classroom. In the sense, it is envisaged. So I'm very happy to see that every time whenever I join this program, I see lots of participants here. Today also I can see that more than 150 participants are there, and this means our teachers, they are already ready to take the light ahead, torch ahead, and they are evolving constantly. They are ready to learn. National education policy also says that now the time has come when we have to teach to our children that they have to be lifelong learner, because lots of changes are coming at a very, very fast pace. Every day the technology is changing, every day the new knowledge domains are emerging, and with the new knowledge domains, it is imperative for all of us to be very adaptive and flexible in our approach, and that means we all shall be ready to learn forever. And if teachers are learning, the students, they will also be always in the learning mode. So it's a good start. And once again, I wish all the very best to all the teachers who are present here for joining this course. I hope that by the end of this course, all of you will be feeling more empowered and enlightened. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. So now I would request all participants to close their camera so no bandwidth issue will be there. Participants can close the camera because even the voice of our resource person was breaking due to bandwidth issue. Thanks a lot. So our respected director, Professor Satish Patil sir, Senior Professor, Department of Environmental Science of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Marathwada University, Chhatrapati Sambhaji Nagar. Professor Satish Patil sir stand as a luminary in the realm of environmental science. His illustrious career woven with accomplishment accolates and profound commitment to the field. Currently holding the esteemed position of senior professor at our university, Professor Patil has left an indelible mark through his multi-faced contribution. Dr. Patil's journey at BAMU has been marked by series of administrative roles, each testifying to his leadership, acumen, and dedication to academic excellence. Serving as a director of BCUD, he has outreached pivotal initiative. His stint as in charge officer of academic planning reflects his strategic foresight in steering the academic trajectory of BAMU. A seasoned academician, Dr. Patil has twice assumed the mantle of head of the Department of Environmental Science, showcasing his enduring commitment to shaping the next generation of environmental scientists. His visionary leadership during 2006 to 2008 and 2017 to 2020 left an indelible imprint on the department. In the realm of research, Dr. Patil has been a trailblazer. 2 patent innovations stand testament to his innovative spirit, undertaking 12 research projects with a total outlay of 76 lakh. He has delved into complexities of environmental science, contributing significantly to the academic and scientific community. As a mentor, Dr. Patil impacts riverbeds through the success of his PhD students, with 30 awarded PhD and 6 currently under his guidance. He exemplifies the art of nurturing research scholars. His scholarly endeavors extended globally, having participated and attended 19 international conferences and 58 national conferences. Dr. Patil's global footprint is not confined to the conference alone. He extensive travels to the 9 countries, including Germany, Italy, Switzerland, Nepal, Bhutan, Sri Lanka, Dubai, Thailand, and the Maldives, underscore his commitment to fostering international collaboration and giving diverse perspective. A prolific author, Dr. Patil has 134 research publications in various national and international journals, boasting an impressive impact factor of 42. Additionally, his literary contribution include 14 books and 5 book chapters, further enriching the academic landscape. International collaboration with the University of Rajshahi, Bangladesh and Eastern University, Sri Lanka showcased Dr. Patil's commitment to fostering global partnership. His recognition extends beyond borders, with prestigious awards such as Environmentalist of the Year 2017 and Scientist of the Year 2018, adoring his accolade laden career. The Clean Environment Promotion Award 2018 further solidifies his commitment to environmental causes. Fellowship from Indian Association of Clinical Biologists and Indian International Congress of Chemistry and Environment and Microbiology Society of India highlights his stature in the scientific community. Life membership in the International Foundation of Environmental and Ecology underline his enduring commitment to the environmental advocacy. In every facet of his career, Dr. Patil embodies excellence, dedication, and a relentless pursuit of knowledge. His impact on environmental science and academia is not just local but global, making him a true luminary in his field. So I would now request our respected director, Professor Satish Patil sir, to deliver a presidential remark to this inaugural session.
Good afternoon, all of you. The guest for this inaugural session and the keynote address, which will be given by Professor Anita Sharma. She is the respected principal of SD Public School, New Delhi. My colleague, Dr. Rafe, and all fellow participants from all over the India, who have shown a very keen interest for the orientation and sensitization program of this national education policy. As Madam rightly pointed out, that this will certainly help to shape up the career of the student, because you know that as it has been told by our Director of Higher Education Maharashtra, that in the years to come, more than 70% of the population will be amongst the youth, that is below 40. And if everybody is asking some work to their hands, I think we need to create a skilled manpower. And this skilled manpower cannot be created unless and until we don't create a skilled and performing manpower. That is very important. And it has been rightly addressed into this national education policy, that which is where the skill component is made compulsory. Even there are a student can pursue 2 academic programs at a time. Even Alumni Connect, which has also been given a due importance, significant importance in the NEP. And I'm happy to share you that in India, more than 182 universities, they have started implementing the NEP. Many of them have started it for the postgraduate level, and now they are starting from 24, 25 to the undergraduate levels also. As it has been told by my Assistant Director Officer, this NEP will, the NEP sensitization orientation program will be from this today till the 20th of this month. That is a 1 week, 8 working days, which will cover the entire aspects of Indian knowledge systems, holistic and multidisciplinary education, as well as academic and leadership, governance and management, student diversity and inclusive education, R&D, as well as the higher education and society, and the importance of information and communication, as well as the skill development. I'm happy that, and to share with you that if you could be able to provide the knowledge to the students through these all aspects, I think the time is not far away, that it has been rightly told by Rafi sir that will be a Vishwaguru for the entire world. And then the government is also looking that everybody should get a work. But work, those who will get the work, those who have, along with education, the skills. And now we have to keep up the GDP in the years to come beyond 9 to 10%. And that is very important, which will come through the learned and skilled manpower. That is very, very important. And we will try our level best. We are trying our level best to invite the experts from the Pan India to share their experiences and knowledge with you all participants. I welcome you all participants for this NEP sensitization and orientation program, because you know that this is our 5th NEP programs from the January 2024, and more than 1,200 participants, they have shown their keen interest in getting the knowledge and the information which is being expected from the NEP. There are several verticals which has been designed for the undergraduate and postgraduate courses. And there are certain issues like a multilinguistic education, interdisciplinary education, internationalization of education. I think there will be a good brainstorming during all these sessions with the experts. They will try to elicit the entire theme of the NEP and the issues, if there are any, while giving this education effectively. And as I told you that in the years to come, if you could be able to implement this robust academic systems through NEP, I'm sure that the unemployment problem, which will be addressed, particularly the countries where we are found to be highly populated countries. And definitely, we can lead the world as far as the learned and skilled manpower is concerned. And that is what it is very, very important. I hope that you all participants will successfully complete this course. Of course, this success is all the way depends upon how you participate, how you interact, and how you get the things from the experts, those who are trying to share their experiences and their expertship with you. With this, I congratulate all of you and I welcome for this HR on behalf of this HRDC MMTTC HRDC Center of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, Marathwada Chhatrapati Sambhajinagar. I hope that you will enjoy all the lectures in the form of feast, and you will carry something which will certainly help you to carry it to the students and make a trained and skilled manpower in the years to come. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. So we are really thankful to our keynote speaker, Anita Sharma ma'am, for sparing her additional time for this inaugural session. Also, my special thanks to our respected director for mentoring us and leading us to this 5th NEP orientation and sensitization program, in which around 200 participants have registered. And rightly said by him that we are always striving, our respected director is always striving that the resource person should be from Pan India, being a national institution and being a national program. We are not just stick to the local resource person, but at national level we are striving. So with this few words, I now declare, with the permission of chair, that this inaugural session is over, and I would now hand over the session to our respected resource person, Anita Sharma ma'am.
Thank you so much. Let me just first share my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I think today some connectivity issues are there. I will request all of you to bear with me. You may find certain problems, but whenever there is any issue, you can always write in the chat box. Topic is students' diversity and inclusion.
Ma'am, a little request.
And
You
I
can,
have
ma'am, a little request. If you close,
modified. Yeah.
if you close your camera, na, then this network issue will be a little less if you close your camera.
Is this fine now? Yes. I have closed my camera now. Is it okay?
Yes, it is okay now. It is okay.
I have joined from 2 devices.
Okay.
It's fine? Okay.
Yes, okay.
Okay. So yes, so the topic given to me today was student diversity and inclusion, and differences fostering equity in the light of Vision 9 National Education Policy 2020. So from all the people who are sitting here, I would like to hear from them that what is the idea of diversity, then include, and that what exactly diversity include in the education. So anybody would like to reflect over this word, student diversity? If you can unmute yourself, and can, people are writing that they cannot listen, sound is not okay.
No, it is okay, ma'am. Now it is okay. And they can't unmute themselves, ma'am.
Fine.
Okay. They can't unmute themselves.
Okay, all right. So, but if they can write something in the chat box, that will
Yes,
be
in
really
chat
nice,
box they can
because when the
write.
process will be
Chat box they can write.
two-way communication will be better to
Yes.
take the
Yes.
topic forward.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So I'm just showing you one picture. You can see that here generally in our students, there is always diversity in our classrooms. Here also, when we are, I think 150 participants are there. All of them, they are not of the same gender. They are not teaching the same course. They are not having the same subjects. They may not be from the same part of the city. They might be from the different parts of the city. So student diversity, when we talk about, is actually means the kind of differences which could be there in our classrooms, and how we are accommodating those differences. So differences can be on four bases. First of all, it may be on the basis of the ethnicity. That means the students may come from the different races, different caste, class, region, religion, etc. Then there may be the cultural differences. That means they might be following different traditions at their home. They might be speaking different language at their home. They might be following different religion. They may have different set of beliefs and faiths. So cultural differences are also always there. Then the difference on the basis of gender, it is very natural, would be there. So everybody could be the part of the city, and so as of the society, and so of the classrooms. So it could be male or female, or the transgender, or others. Then is abilities. You may have the students with the different kind of abilities. There may be specific disabilities, there may be super abilities, there may be special needs. So all sorts of possibilities are there. And it is also possible to have the students in the classroom from the different social and the economic backgrounds. So that means there may be the students who are from the socially disadvantaged group or the economically disadvantaged group. According to the Ministry of Education's data, and this is the data of 2020, almost 57% of the students in our classrooms, they are coming from the disadvantaged group. So we need to understand diversity in all respect. Diversity means all sorts of varieties and differences which are there within a group or in a system. So in context of people and communities, diversity means range of attributes which is not limited to just race, ethnicity, gender, age, socioeconomic status, abilities, and cultural backgrounds. So if we agree, and if we understand that the diversity will be there in the society, and so as the diversity will be in our classrooms, then as a teacher, as the responsible citizens, we should always be having the inclusive practices in our system. And this simply means that regardless of any kind of differences, we respect each and every child, each and every learner who is sitting in our classroom, and we are able to give them a sense of respect and sense of belongingness, and we are, as a teacher, able to involve them actively and meaningfully in the work which is happening in our classrooms. So this is true not only for the classroom but for the society at large also. So in our community, in all groups, inclusivity should be the part of the system. It should be the nature of the system. So that means we shall always try to create an environment which can embrace the diversity, which can value every child's, every person's individuality and identity, and can also promote equal opportunities respectfully for them. And if the diversity is there, inclusion is there, then the question of equity is not this is not an issue which will be there in the isolation. It is going to naturally to be the part of the system. And this means since we are able to respect everyone's individuality, everyone's identity, so that means equal treatment will be given to all, and each person will be provided with the specific resources or the opportunities or the support as per his need. So as per his circumstances. Equity is the concept of ensuring fairness and justice by acknowledging and addressing the unique needs and circumstances of individuals. So these are the three terms which are very necessary to understand before we move further. So diversity, inclusion, and equity, they will be the key words for today's discussion. Now, the thing is that when we are in a system, in a educational institution, how the inclusion is possible, how we can make it possible. Now, if we are actually willing to bring the inclusion, it is a 5-step criteria. It is a 5-step process. So we need to understand first of all that being an educator, what is the vision and the philosophy in the National Education Policy 2020 regarding the inclusion. So we should be clear about the policy and the expectations in the policy from the educators. If the vision is clear, what we really want to achieve, then the second important point is that what is the legal position in this case? Are we aware of the legislations and the acts which are made in order to achieve inclusion in the system? If that is clear to us, then the third step is that wherever we are we able to understand ourselves, our own systems as an institution? So institutional analysis is very, very important. Self-analysis by the institution is pertinent to understand that how the inclusion can be made feasible in our systems. And if we have understood our institution in different aspects, maybe this is the infrastructural aspect, maybe this is the policy aspect, maybe this is the administrative aspect or the academic aspects, then we need to further work over the improvement part. So how the administrative strategies can be chartered in order to promote inclusion in our system. And if we are talking about the administrative strategies, that means we have to take care of each component, be it the infrastructure, be it the curriculum, be it the opportunities which are available, be it the employability, because at the end of the day, as Dr. Patil was saying, that making everybody skillful and giving them opportunities to grow is very much important, because human resource is the most important resource which is available. And if every human resource, if every human being can be nurtured as per his potential and his strength, only then the country can be on the path of progress. So administratively, we need to look into all 4 dimensions: infrastructure, curriculum, opportunities, and employability. And if administrative strategies are in place, then the academic improvement strategies are also to be looked into. So that means, do we have choice of appropriate courses? Does everybody in the system have the same mindset? Are we able to move ahead with this, with the philosophy and the commitment to work for all? And then what kind of resources we have, what kind of pedagogical strategies could be adopted in order to encourage and enhance the engagement? So let me just first start with the policy. Now, in called as the equitable and the inclusive policy. Desmond Tutu has said that inclusive good quality education is the foundation for dynamic and equitable society. Our first line of the national education policy says that education is fundamental for achieving full human potential, developing an equitable and just society. And just society, and we want to promote national development society, because as I've said earlier, that unless until everybody is getting equal opportunity and all the human resources are not used optimally, it will not be possible for the nation to progress and to grow. So providing universal access to education is not the only underlying principle of this policy. Now we talk about providing universal access to quality education. So education for all is actually now extended to the vision of quality education for all. So this is the key to India's continued ascent and leadership on the global stages in terms of economic growth, social justice, equality, scientific advancement, national integration, and cultural preservation. We also know that all countries in a united charter has envisaged about the 17 goals which are known as the sustainable development goals. So if the world has to move in the direction of the sustainable development, then these goals has to be kept in mind by every country, and especially the SDG goal number 4. So the the agenda for 2030 for the sustainable development is the global education development agenda, and that means we want to ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all by 2030. So we are already entered into 2024, and that means we don't have much time. By the next 6 years, in the next 6 years, we should be able to achieve this aim of ensuring educational opportunities for all. And there is no doubt in this that education is a great leveler. You must have seen, if you go across the India's growth chart, you will be able to see that as the people are able to get quality education, they are able to improve their economic and social status. So education is a great leveler, and it is the best tool to achieve economic and social mobility, inclusion, and equality. And all these things are written on the very first page of the policy. So I request all of you to read them carefully in the policy. Now, when we talk about the principles of the national education policy, there too it is again mentioned that respect for diversity and respect for the local context in all curriculum, pedagogy, and policy shall be kept in mind. And it should also be kept in mind that education is a concurrent subject. So education is a matter of state. So that means if you really want to respect for the diversity, you may have the same curriculum, but in the curriculum, the provision for the inclusion and provision to respect for everybody's local culture, local context, local resources shall be there. So respect for diversity and respect for the local context is emphasized in the making of curriculum, pedagogy, and policy. So the full participation of the state is also accepted here wholeheartedly. Full equity and inclusion is as a cornerstone of all educational decisions to ensure that all students are able to thrive in the education system. Now, at the policy level, it is decided that whenever any decision regarding the educational process is to be taken, then this decision should always take into consideration all sorts of diversity and all sorts of provision which can be made to cater to. Let us see that in our policy, what is written for the equitable and inclusive education. So there is a dedicated section number 6 about the school education, and section for catering the student diversity and inclusiveness are given. So let us try to understand them one by one. Section 6.1. It says education and equality and inclusive and equitable society in which every citizen has the opportunity to dream, thrive, and contribute to the nation. It also says that we shall also ensure that no child loses any opportunity to learn and excel because of the circumstances of the birth or background. So despite of the diversities which are occurring due to the natural process or due to the man-made process, so due to the natural process or due to the man-made process, no child should lose any opportunity. So as a policy makers, as the educators, as the educational institution, it is our joint responsibility to provide opportunity to learn and excel. And then through this, we shall also try to bridge the social category gaps in access, participation, and learning outcomes in school education. Now, before we start thinking about this, that what kind of disadvantaged groups are there, we shall first try to understand that in our policy, what this SEDGs are there. SEDGs means social economic disadvantage group. Now, according to the policy, these SEDGs are divided into different categories on different bases. First is according to the gender. So gender identities are also the base, because you know that in India is a very, very big country. Everywhere the conditions are not same. There are still many areas in our country where the female education, girl child education is not promoted, or not much opportunities are extended to the girl child. Also, the transgender education is a social taboo in our society. So for the first time in the policy, this word is being used, and it is a commitment of the government that every person, despite of his gender, will be given the educational opportunities. So female and transgender individuals are precisely included in this category. Second is the groups can be divided on the basis of socio-cultural identities. So we have lots of scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, other backward classes, minority classes. So there are many type of socio-cultural backgrounds which may tag them with the different identities, and all these people, despite of any socio-cultural identity, shall be given the educational opportunity. Then are the geographical identities. India is a big country. Geographical, lots of geographical disparities are also there. We have different type of areas according to the climatic conditions, according to the vegetation, according to the near oceans, some are on the hilly areas, some are in the tribal areas. So lots of geographical diversity is also there. and there are areas where it is difficult to reach the education. There are areas where there are either no school, or there are single teacher schools, there are ekal vidyalayas. So lots of disparities are there in the education opportunities available, or the educational type of educational institutions which are available in the different areas. So geographical identity is another a big issue, which may be a kind of hindrance in getting the quality education by the students. Then disabilities, lots of types of disabilities are there. There may be the physical disabilities, there may be learning disabilities, there may be the disabilities which are related to the mental issues or the mental health problems also. So lots of lots of disabilities are there, and on the basis of that also we consider that the students, they belong to the learners, they may belong to the socio-economic disadvantaged group. And especially if the disabilities are not properly treated or for proper treatment, then the families also undergo lots of financial pressures and they're not sometimes able to manage. Education takes the back seat, and the treatment takes a front seat, and sometimes due to lack of awareness, lack of resources, lack of finances, many families, they're not able to manage the education opportunities for their children. So this is also a very big area where we all need to work collectively. And then the social socio-economic conditions are there, because there may be the uh, labor classes which are migrant. They are moving from one place to another place in order to work. There may be low situations. They may be the war victims. They may be the victim of the trafficking. They may be the victim of the disasters, natural disasters, or sometimes man-made disasters also. So orphans, including child beggars in the urban areas, and urban poor children are also there. So lots of kind of uh, disparities may be there in the socio-economic condition on the basis of the parental background, and also on the basis of certain natural or the man-made disaster conditions. So for all kind of categories, some special provision need to be created in the school systems, in the higher education system, in the education system, if we really wish to provide equal opportunities to them. Also, we need to understand that there was a time when everybody was used to feel that, okay, this particular person is born with this kind of disability or has born into this kind of their education, but now the time is changed, and now this kind of mindset is changing. We are evolving, and we are able to understand that every human being has potential, and as per their potential, if some kind of opportunity is given to them, it is quite possible to raise their life standards. Our policy also says that there is a data which shows that certain geographical areas, they contain significantly larger proportion of SEDGs. So due to the geographical conditions, it is quite possible that in a particular area, not much of the work opportunities are there, not much of the employability possibilities are there, not much of the industry or the business has reached there. And so the larger number of the population, larger population is belonging to the socially economic disadvantaged group. So now these kind of geographical locations are identified, and they are also named as aspirational districts. And this means these districts require special interventions by the government educational development. Also, it is recommended that the socially and the educationally disadvantaged groups are there. They will be declared as now special education zones. And that means that in these special education zones, special schemes and special policies will be implemented so that everybody can get optimal benefit of these policies and can improve. There are areas like you must have come across these situations that the students have to walk in kilometers to reach to their schools. Girls are not safe. Lots of dense forest area is there, or the kind of area is there which is very isolated, and not much safety and security is there. So for all these areas, a special provision has been made through the policy that the bicycles will be given to the girl child and to the other students who are going to the school, and also the groups, walking groups and the cycling groups will be created there, so that all can move together and they can be more safe and secure. So every child's security is also taken into consideration, because if you really want to get the students to have the good education, then it is also necessary for us to take their safety into consideration, because unless until the child is safe, parents don't feel comfortable to send them to the school. So the mental security and the physical safety both are important, and that is why these kind of provisions are made, that the bicycles would be provided, or the cycling and the walking groups will be created. Then the provision of one-to-one teacher and tutor, peer tutoring, open schooling, appropriate infrastructure, suitable technological interventions to ensure access. These are also will be made for the effective execution of the policies, especially in case of children with disabilities. A special fund is also announced, that there will be a general fund is to build the nation's capacity to provide equitable quality education for girls as well as for the transgender students. So this gender inclusion fund is now not reserved only into the consideration of transgender students also. Special team is bring into this act actually defines inclusive education as a system of education where all students, whether they are with disability or without disability, they will be learning together. And the system of teaching and learning is suitably adopted to meet the learning needs of different type of students with disabilities. So actually this policy says that all students, they can study together. So even if the child has some kind of disability, he should be the part of the main course, mainstream education. And in the mainstream education, the provision should be made that teachers should be so empowered that if they know that there is a child with a specific disability, then how to cater to his educational needs. Sorry. So teachers should be trained over that. So policy is actually a complete, it is in complete consonance with the provision of the RPWD Act 2016, and it endorses all its recommendations with regard to the school education as well as to the higher education. Then for inclusion and equity, the key person is teacher. So teacher education has also been emphasized in this direction, that the training, special trainings should be given to the teacher, which are necessary for them to understand the needs the academic needs, the physical needs, the like the other kind of needs, and the pedagogies and the pedagogical urgency which is to be taken into the curriculum, the kind of administration which is required to help every child according to his needs, and then the training for the leadership is also required, because unless until the leadership is with the mindset that it is his responsibility to take care of every child, every learner who is coming to the school, then the um, then the goal, the objective to achieve it. So effort should be made to recruit high quality teachers and leaders from the educationally, socially, economically disadvantaged groups also, in order to bring in excellent role models for all students. Now, this line is very, very important, because they say that if there is a, say, a special geographical area which is described as the special education zones. So now, initially, this is possible that the resource has to parts of the country. But once the people there, they are empowered and they are trained properly, then the new resources, new teachers and new leaders, they can be created from that particular zone only. And if the teachers and leaders are emerging from those special education zones, then those people, they will also be working as a role models for the rest of the learners. So this will be a very good practice to create leaders from the groups which are belonging to the socially, educationally or economically disadvantaged groups. Now, section 6.2.5 also recognize the importance of creating enabling mechanisms for providing children with special needs or the Divyang. You know that earlier we were using the words like physical disabilities or the disabled students, but now this word is replaced by the word Divyang, and also we call them the students with the special needs, children with special need. So if there is any child with a special need or the Divyang student, then the same opportunity shall be given to the child. So in the section 6.2.5, this is clearly mentioned that every child, irrespective of his special needs or super needs or specific needs, has to be catered by the school, and the provisions has to be made by the schools to give them equal opportunities. So you can see on your screen, two tables are there. And this actually says that how to ensure equitable and the inclusive education. So as we have discussed, that the first part is that the participation of the socially economic disadvantaged group in the schooling system needs to be increased as well as to strengthened. Second is, and all of you are aware that now it is mandatory for all schools, for all educational institutions to cater to at least 25% of the students coming from the socially disadvantaged group in their structure. Then special education zones, we have already discussed about it. Gender inclusion fund, we have discussed. We have also discussed that special provisions will be given to the students. So free boarding facilities are also to be built. Right now also there are few schools which are known as the Kasturba Balika Vidyalaya. These are the schools which are giving totally free education to the girl children, and in these institutions all facilities, boarding, lodging, living, food, every kind of facilities is given free of cost. And the Kasturba Balika Vidyalayas are working, they are doing very well and are able to bring value addition in the life of the girl child. Inclusion and equal participation of the children with the disabilities, even in the elementary childhood care education, will also will be done. It's not that the students, when they're coming only for the higher education, they need to be included right from the early childhood years. The care will be taken that all sorts of students with any kind of disabilities, they are part of the school system, and they are given their welfare is given the highest priority. Then home based education will also be the choice for the children, because sometimes the disabilities are so severe that the children are not able to go to the school. So if the child is not being able to go to the school, then school will be going to the child. And this means that alternative systems of education, home-based education, etc., they will be promoted in the schools. Then teachers will be empowered to identify the students with the learning disabilities at very early age, because if the learning disabilities are identified at the early age, then it is very easy to plan to make individual education plan as per their needs, and it is also uh, easy to bring them to the mainstream, so they may be able to overcome their learning disabilities if they are identified at the early age. So this kind of training will also be given to the students. Then there will be special educators in every school. So provision of the additional special educators will be made for the school education. Now, as I have also mentioned, that all sorts of alternative forms of schools will be encouraged, because when we are talking about the diversity, when we are talking about the inclusiveness, it is not only the inclusion for the disabled students, inclusion of all sorts of students are there. So as we have discussed earlier, there may be the students who are coming from the social disadvantaged group. There may be the students who are coming from the economically disadvantaged group. There may be the students who are facing any kind of other mental health problems. They may be the victims of the warfare, or the trafficking, or the disasters, etc. Or maybe they are fallen into the trap of the terrorist, or the people who are making use of the children for begging and the other kind of petty activities. So all sorts of uh, children, they have to be catered, and that means all different forms of schools will be accepted. Alternative forms of schools will be accepted. You might be knowing that earlier also we had different type of schools. In our country, lots of variety of schools are there, but there are schools which are very structured in nature. Whether you talk about the central school or the Jawahar Navodaya schools, or the public schools or the government schools, these are the set structures. But apart from that, even those who are not able to go to these kind of schools, they are either going for the open learning systems, like the National Institute of Open Schooling is there. There was a provision of Gurukul Pranali in our country, and till date these kind of systems are preserved by our country. So there are two type of Gurukuls. One is where one teacher is studying under the mentorship of sorry, lots of students are studying under the mentorship of one teacher, and the other thing is also possible, that one teacher one child provision is also there. So now the government is also making the provision to acknowledge both kind of systems. So even if the child has come through the Gurukul Parampara, but in that Gurukul Parampara, he has taken the training alone from his guru in his mentorship. So at his place, then that Shishya also has now the provision of being appear for the board examinations, and this kind of provision has been made through the Bharatiya Shiksha Board, which is given to the Patanjali. This kind of affiliation is given to the Patanjali by the government of India. So under the Bharatiya Shiksha Board, the structured school, the Gurukul schools, the single Guru Shishya Parampara schools, all are acknowledged. So students will be encouraged to get education by any means, in any form. Special attention is also given to reduce the disparities for the scheduled caste and the scheduled tribes. Lots of scholarship schemes are there, which were earlier also available, but now more sensitization is being done for the facilities available for, and more awareness is being spread in the society. It is a mandatory responsibility of the schools to give the training to the parents and to tell them about the different schemes and policies which are available for the benefit of their children. Then NCC wings will be open in all the secondary and the higher secondary schools, and schools will be sensitized to adopt this new culture where the teachers, social workers, counselors, everybody is working together. All human values like empathy, tolerance, human rights, gender equality, and non-violence, citizenship, these will also be the part of the curriculum. And it is mandatory, it is imperative to have these human values as the part of the curriculum, because if we are dreaming about a equitable and just society, then these human attributes should be nurtured right from the school in every child. So empathy and tolerance, gender equality, respect for each other's culture, respect for each other's opinion, non-violence, and citizenship, this all should be the part of the curriculum. So inclusive curriculum will include material on the human values such as respect for all persons, empathy, tolerance, human rights, gender equality, non-violence, global citizenship, inclusion, and equity. So this is clearly mentioned in our policy that all this should be included, and more detailed knowledge of various cultures, religion, language, gender identities, etc. shall be given in order to sensitize and develop the respect for diversity. We always say that that the new policy is a transformative policy, and we believe that it will be rooted in Indianness. So when we talk about rootedness in India, that means it is imperative for every child to know his own country, his own culture, and to understand the diversity and the existence of unity in that diversity. The beauty of our country is, despite of so much diversity in the cultural, in the language, in the regional, religion, all kind of diversities, we still live in peace and harmony. So this kind of culture has to be generated in the schools, where the students, they try to know each other's culture, each other's language, each other's religion. We are talking about the culture of multilingualism. So why we should not respect the other's language? Why we say that only this language or that language is acceptable? So there are so many languages, and it is and they're so beautiful and rich. So many languages, they are dying, and because, and with when the languages are dying, with them the literature is also dying. Lots of knowledge which is hidden in that language, in their scriptures, is also dying. So we need to promote this feeling in our students, and also respect the beauty of the language. Other provisions which is to be made are that bridge courses to be developed for the students who are coming from the disadvantaged educational background. Now, here precisely I would like to tell you that right from the beginning, the initiative has been taken. NCRT has uh, worked on this, that they observe that even when the child is entering into the preschool, at that time there are three different kind of students are going to the preschools. There are children who have come from a good background, they have attended the good play schools or the good nursery schools, and they are ready to learn further. There are students who have never been to any school, and they are also taking admission in the preschool at the right age. Okay, and then there are students who have gone to some kind of the play school or the nursery schools, but there the teachers who are appointed there, they are not trained teachers. They don't have that right kind of knowledge. They don't have the knowledge of the child psychology. They don't have the knowledge of the abilities of the children can be enhanced. So in order to help all the three types of children, so that means even at the beginning age, initial stages also, there is disparity in the children who are reaching to the school. And to bridge this gap, the government of India has started a 3 months bridge course even for these small kids in the age group of 3 to 6 years, and this course is known as Vidya Pravesh. So that means to bring the readiness to learn, the child has to undergo this kind of bridge course which is known as Vidya Pravesh. And this Vidya Pravesh is not meant only for the child, it is meant for the parents of the children also. So parents will also be involved. They also need to have right kind of knowledge that what kind of language is to be spoken at home, how to talk meaningfully to the child, what kind of nutrition is to be provided to the children, what kind of food can be given to the child, what kind of family environment is to be maintained, what kind of games are there where the child can be involved so that his um, um, intellectual growth can be ensured. So this Vidya Pravesh is a beautiful course made by the NCRT students in the initial years. Then many other programs, many counseling programs and mentoring programs are made in order to help the students coming from the different backgrounds. So to give them socio-emotional support, to give them academic support, and to mentor them throughout their journey, the provision for the counseling right from school to the higher education is being made. Then sensitization of the faculty is very, very important. Whether it is a school or the higher education institution, if the faculty members are not sensitized towards the needs of the different kind of people, then they will not be able to do justice. Justice in the sense that the right kind of guidance they will not be able to provide to the students. So the faculty members, the counselors and the students all need to be trained on the gender issues, identity crisis issues, and how all of them they can be included uh, in all aspects in the higher education institutions, including their curricula. Then every institution, be it the school or the higher education, has to enforce strictly the policies of no discrimination and the anti-harassment rules. We need to develop institutional development plans which can contain specific plans or actions on increasing participation from the socially economically disadvantaged group, but it is not limited to the above items only. So this is what the policy says. We have discussed so far what is written in the policy. So I will again reiterate that the section 6 and the section 14 shall be read by everyone in order to improve their understanding about the diversity, inclusion, and the various provisions where the government is giving the kind of schemes, scholarships, and the legal provisions. So the second important part is, if we have understood the policy, so then obviously the policy can be enforced into the different institutions. Number one, through the laws and acts. So in case of the inclusion and diversity, let us first try to understand the different laws, acts, legislations in the form of RPWD Act. What is the role of the rehabilitation counselors in education? So RCIs and all. So let us discuss this part now. Now, there are three kind of acts. First is the Rehabilitation Council of India Act 1992. This act was modified and revised in the year 1995, and Person with Disability Act came into the pitch. Then there is a National Trust Act, which was made in 1999, and Right of Persons with Disability Act came into force in the year 2016. Now, there is an organization, UNCRPD. They brought this act for the first time in the United Nations General Assembly, and this was in the year 2006 on 13th of December. So the act came into force, and this act was ratified by India, and we adopted this act on 1st of October 2007 and forced it in 2008. And what is the chief goal here is, the chief goal is to eliminate the idea that disabled people are objects of charity. We always feel, if we see somebody who is disabled, we feel कि ये दया का पात्र है. So this kind of feeling should not be there. They demand equal respect, they demand equal rights, they demand equal opportunities in the society. So through this UNCRPD Act, this idea was enforced into the society that disabled people, they are not the object of the charity, and they have the equal strength and equal potentials if given the right kind of opportunities. Also, they are the active members of the society. So they can make informed decisions based on their free will. So we should not always be the decision makers for them. Their active participation in every aspect of their education, their policies, and the opportunities which can be brought to them, their active participation should be there. So the principles which were laid down by the UNCRPD, the full form is United Nations Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities. It says respect for the inherent dignity and individual autonomy, no discrimination and equal opportunity provision should be there, effective participation and the inclusion in society, and respect and acceptance of person with disabilities as human diversity. So diversity is not limited to the culture, language, region, or religion. Diversity is extended to the disabilities also, and it is mandatory to respect them and to accept them as they are. So accessibility is again another important thing, gender equality, and then respect for the rights of the children with disabilities. Rights and privilege which are there under this act are, government should ensure that equal opportunities are given to them, appropriate environment is given to them, no discrimination should be there in any educational institution or any other organization, any other office, any office, no deprivation of personal liberty to be made. Reasonably, we shall try to accommodate. So reasonable accommodation is to be made. they shall be protected from abuse, violence, and exploitation. And also the protection from the cruelty and the inhumane treatment to be made. In the RPWD Act, special categories are also defined. Categories of specified disabilities are there. Like in case of the intellectual disabilities, special learning disabilities, autism, spectrum disorder, mental behavioral illness, all are included along with the intellectual disabilities. Then disabilities due to the neurological conditions are also included, and neurological conditions may include the multiple sclerosis or the Parkinson disease. Blood related disabilities, you must have heard about the thalassemia, hemophilia, or the sickle cell diseases. So these are also be taken into consideration because they make somewhere the person uh, uh, dysfunctional or disabled, or functionality is reduced. Then multiple disabilities can be there. Any other category which is notified by the central government will be the part of it. In education, section 16 is given, which says that educational institution has to be inclusive in terms of the curriculum, mindset, and pedagogy all. So they have specially mentioned curriculum should be inclusive, mindset should be inclusive, mindset of whom? Teachers and the authorities. Pedagogy should be inclusive, sports and inclusive recreational facilities also to be included. So when we say that the curriculum needs to be inclusive, that means curriculum shall be flexible. If I talk in terms of the CBSE students, the students who are appearing in the board examinations or at the school education, then special provisions are made by the board. And as per them, if any child feels that he is not, like some kind of intellectual disability is there or the learning disabilities is there, and the student is not very much comfortable with the subjects like mathematics, science, and social science, then the provision has made right from the class 9th that they can go for the subjects, skill subjects like music, painting, retail management, tourism management, physical trainers, and so on. So as per the strength of the child can choose the subject, and they will be, these subjects, they will be treated at par with the other academic subjects. So the adjustment in the curriculums which are done, which are made according to the needs of the child, means the curriculum is now inclusive. Then inclusive mindset. In the educational institution, everybody should have this mindset of respectfulness towards the persons with disability. And this could be any kind of disability, maybe the intellectual, maybe the physical, any kind of disability is there. So this means the training of all staff members, be it the guard who is standing at the gate, be it the supporting staff who takes care of the most of the physical facilities or the other care, be it the school transport drivers or conductors, be it the reception area, be it the classrooms, be it the peer group. So everybody should have this feeling and should this kind of sensitivity that all are equal and we need to respect everybody's uh, differences in the physique or in the nature or in the other kind of abilities. So when the faculties they talk to each other, their discussions regarding the students with the special need should be empathetic as well as sympathetic. So they should not pity on them. They should not think that these kind of students they cannot do. Everyone has special strengths, special abilities. So identification of their abilities and their strength by the teachers is very important, and then the provision to give them the right kind of atmosphere and the right kind of academic input or academic support is the part of the teacher's responsibilities. Then inclusive pedagogy is again a very important word here, because even if you see a classroom which you call that this is the classroom of the normal students, that the students does not have any specific abilities, then there too you can see that every child has different learning style, and we always try to adjust our pedagogies according to the learning styles of the children. So if learning styles can be adopted, then the learning disabilities or the other disabilities can also be adjusted. The adjustments can be made to cater to them. If special kind of resource is there, suppose there is some child in the class who is visually impaired and they need the same textbook in the braille, or they need the help of some kind of special software in the computer labs, so the provision shall be made. uh, Government is if there is somebody who is deaf and dumb, then you must have observed that the sign language is now promoted. Even if you go to attend any event or any functions, the special provision is made that uh, a person who can translate all deliberations in the sign language is always there present on the stage to facilitate the proceedings for every type of person who is sitting in the audience. So all shall we should empower ourselves to help every kind of student. Then inclusive sports and inclusive recreational facilities are also part of the curriculum. Nowadays, even in the schools and the universities and the colleges, para sports, para Olympics, these kind of activities are started. Then recreational facilities, they can be varied in nature. So all type of students, they can be the part of the educational excursion groups, and they can be involved in the different kind of discussions, debates, and the symposiums and the other kind of academic activities. Then accessibility. So whether it is a school or college, the school building should be accessible to all. So the special provision of the transport, the provision of ramp, provision of the lift, these kind of things are being made mandatory. Even the washrooms and the restrooms, there are specifications for them, that what kind of buildings should be there. What kind of uh, the provision can be there, like the doors should be broader, uh, so that the wheelchair can move inside. There should be a proper stand. So all those facilities need to be taken into consideration, and all the educational institutions, they shall make it mandatory that anybody who is taking care of the school building shall be able to take care of the building provisions made uh, for the by the authorities, and these kind of provisions are made in the school segment. Then there is a section 17, and this section 17 in the act says that after every 5 years a survey shall be conducted of the school going children. So through this survey, this can be found out that what kind of facilities, what more is to be added, what kind of provisions are existing in the schools, what is the comfort level of these students, what is the learning level of these students, what more can be done for them in terms of the resources, in terms of the trainings, in terms of the curriculum, in terms of the textbooks and all. And to empower the teachers, these type of teacher training institutions also need to be established. And now the students, they have started coming. Many of the teachers, I have seen that, now started joining the organizations as the special educators, And that means now they know that this is one area where they can serve the society better, and they are going for the B.Ed in the special education, not only for the B.Ed simple education program, but the special education programs. So these kind of training institutions need to be, their number should be increased, and everybody should be promoted and encouraged to participate in the trainings at these institutions. So more professionals of such kind, so that we can have, because every year, this is a data that every year the disability sector, the number of the disabled people is increasing at least by 4%. So if that number is increasing by 4%, so you can assume that the quantum of the students who are in this category now, and the quantum of the teachers required to cater to these students, how this is increasing. So this rapid growth needs to be taken into the consideration by opening more and more institutions which can provide the training in the special education. So all teachers shall be given the training of the sign language and the braille and the other kind of provisions which are possible. Regular research needs to be promoted in this area, because unless until the proper research are there, and the need analysis and the impact analysis of the existing systems is done, uh, uh, growth will not be possible. So research is also required to improve the learning of the special students. Now, what is the purpose of educating all the students, whether they are disabled or whether they are belonging to the diverse backgrounds? Ultimate purpose is to make them self-sustainable. They shall be self-dependent, and they shall not be dependent on anybody else. So skill development and employment is a very, very important aspect of this kind of education. In our education policy, section 19, section 20, section 21, 22, and 23, it talks about the skill development and the employment. Inclusion of person, it says, inclusion of person with disabilities in all formal and non-formal scheme of vocational and skill training shall be made. So it is the school also, in the school also, this kind of flexibility is given, that these students, they can opt for the vocational subjects, they can opt for the skill objects. In the schools, again, in the CBSE curriculum, lots of provision has been made to provide the skill training to the students. In the middle schools, approximately 33 subjects are there in the form of the skill modules, where a training of 12 to 15 hours is given. And when the students are able to complete this training right at the middle school stage, they are able to receive a certification by the CBSE, and with this certification is also endorsed by the National Skill Development Corporation. And with the help of these skill certificates, the students, if by chance they have to leave their education in between, they have to drop out or they need to work, at least these kind of trainings, they help them to establish themselves and in the society, and to have some kind of employment opportunity. Then adequate support and facilities shall be there in the schools, so that everybody can avail these trainings. Whether it is an educational institution or any other institution, no promotion can be denied to people with people with disabilities on the ground of their disabilities. This is a very, very special provision of the RPWD Act, that every person has the right to get promoted if the person is contributing. No promotion can be denied on the ground of disability. Framing of policy for the transfer and posting of PWDs is also to be made. So that means for them, that transfers which are not comfortable for them, or the postings at the places which are not comfortable as per their limitations. The proper policies is to be maintained, and every establishment shall notify equal opportunity policy. So in all educational institution as well as the other institutions, these policies should be made mandatory. They shall be made public and they shall be notified. So and there shall be a proper establishment, a grievance redressal officer shall be there in every institution, where their complaints they can be addressed or their grievances can be addressed. So our RPWD Act is taking good care of all aspects. Then social security, health and rehabilitation, section 24 and 230 is talking about this. And in this section, special support for the women with disability for livelihood and upbringing of children is made. It also talks about the safe drinking water, sanitation facilities, accessible sanitation facilities also there. Then there shall be a disability pension subject to the notified income ceiling. Caregiver allowances is also to be made for the PWDs with high support need. Unemployment allowances. See what is disability pension is there, caregiver allowances is there, unemployment allowances is there. There is even in the employment exchange, special wing is there, special employment exchange. Then facilities for the training, education to the public through the different circulars, notifications at all levels, whether it is a preschool, school, PHC or VLW, vocational educational institutions, and through mass media, TV and radio. So these were the provisions which were made by the UNDP, and they were also adopted by our country, and they were also made part of the RPWD Act. Then what will be the role of the RCIs, Rehabilitation Counselors, under the RPWD Act? So number one, a special training on the disability rights in all courses to be included. And these are the courses for everybody, but like those who are in the Panchayati Raj system, those who are the member legislators or administrators or police officials or the judges or the lawyers. So that means not only the educational institution, but all types of administrative institutions, whether they are belonging to a village or to the urban area, and all type of administrators, right from the police officials to the lawyers and judges, also has to be trained in the in all the necessary aspects of the disability rights. Then even in the schools, it is not only the academic teachers, but the sports teachers also needs to be trained. And the training will be on two things. One will be on their needs and the special provisions for them, and another will be the what kind of sports, games and adventure activities they can take, how they can be given these kind of activities in the safe environment, taking good care of their safety also. Then all universities shall also promote teaching and research. We have already discussed that the research is to be promoted for the disabilities, so that the impact analysis, need analysis, and the understanding of their learning needs can be done, and the systems can be improved. Now, what can be the challenges? Now, challenges can be at every place. It is not only the system within the school, it is the system outside the schools or the educational institute. So the very first challenge is that everybody should be aware of their problems, and all should be sensitized. So creating awareness and sensitization program for the protection of rights is to be done. Providing facilities at the bus stop, railway stations, airport, confirming the accessibility standards So as I have said earlier, that now the authorities who has to make the city plans, who have to approve the building structural plans, they all have to take into the consideration whether roads are uh, appropriate, whether the structure of the railway stations or the airports is appropriate, even if it is a transport, even if this is a vehicle, then is the vehicle user friendly vehicle. If the person is going to say airport, then the special provisions are made to the for the disabled people. So what are those provisions? So knowing those provisions is one thing, and availing those provisions is another thing. So the public notifications and the general awareness about these kind of facilities is very important, and how these facilities can be availed, that knowledge is also very, very important. Now, it is also decided that now, within the next 5 years, there are all types of building. New buildings are already taking into the consideration the provisions which are required. But the old buildings also has to improve their structures, and they have to be accessible and user friendly for the disabled people within the next 5 years. These kind of policies have come. Then what can be the possible measures? So awareness and sensitization about the rights of the person with disability, as I've already said, this could be done through curriculum, this could be done through in-service training programs, this can be the part of the induction program which is required, the adjustments to be made. Let me just share a small experience of mine with you. In my school, we started making the provision for the disabled children right in the year 2004, when the people they were not even thinking about this. So I came across a parent. The child has some kind of problem at the at the back. There was a big lump, and she was not able to walk properly. And because of her different physique, no school was giving her admission. So the mother was, and the mother was a single mother. And she was the only person who was earning livelihood, and she was very much concerned that why my child does not have the right to study in any school. So we took that child into our school, and when we took the child, first of all, we need to train the teachers as they felt that they are not empowered to understand the needs of this child. The child was requiring all the time the help of the people who can move, who can help her in the mobility, because her classroom was on the first floor, and so two people were required to take her to upstairs in the wheelchair. So lots of problems were there. And then the third problem was that when the parents came to know that a special child has been made part of the school system, they came with the objections that why my child has to sit with this child. I have not sent my child to sit with this child in the school. And then I see a week's time from the parent. I said, you give me 1 week, let us see that how we can sort out all the problems. We understand your concerns, and we also understand the concern of this parent also. So what we did, we started training the peers. We gave the training to all the classmates that how this child is just like them, how the child has some special needs, but those special needs can be fulfilled if all of them are participating in taking care of that. So every child was given different responsibility. So somebody was to take care of the child during the recess time. Somebody has to take care whether the child is able to complete the work or not, whether the child, if the child is absent, then how she will be able to take note of the work covered in the classroom, who is going to teach her. So all students, they will be given the different kind of responsibilities, and all of them, they became the part of the life of that child, and indirectly the child became the part of life of each of the child. And when those small kids, they felt that they could be of some help to somebody, they took pride in that, that they can take good care of somebody. They shared their experiences with their parents, they shared it with pride, that how they are helping the child. And a kind of sense of responsibility was generated in them. They discussed their experiences with their parents, and when parents came, when they were invited after the 15 days time, when they came back, all of them, they were with a different opinion, because they observed the of their own children, and they felt that right kind of life skills are now in become the attribute of their child's personality. So this kind of initiative can be taken and can be made successful only when the school leader has a positive mindset and also has the courage to educate their fellow members and to change their mindset also. And when we start taking the responsibility of each other, then it is possible to create this kind of atmosphere in the educational institution, that all have the empathy towards the people with the disabilities and the acceptability towards all kinds of diversities. So I think that all challenges, they can be overcome with the positive mindset and with the sense of pride, taking pride in what you are doing. Then school should also make it mandatory to provide the training, like all staff members, all faculty members, they shall be trained in knowing that what are the specific provisions to protect the rights of the people with disabilities, what is RCI, what is RPWD Act, different kind of acts are there, what kind of measures are expected from them. There shall be a provision of special room, there shall be a, a complete program to understand the need analysis, right from the identification of the child with the disabilities, what kind of disabilities are there, then what kind of provisions can be made in the light of the different policies of the boards or the UGC or the other assessing authorities. So all sorts of provisions shall be clear to all, and these kind of trainings shall be given, shall be facilitated by the school administrator or the college administrator or university administrator for the faculty members. Parents training program is also required, because sometimes parents are also not aware of the kind of provisions they have for their children. So there are special policies, special schemes, even the insurance policies, all type of policies, be it the financial schemes, be it the academic schemes, be it the scholarship schemes, be it the medical policies, be it the insurance policies, be it the medical facilities. So all sorts of knowledge shall be gathered by the school and colleges, because there is a provision of the special educators and the counselors in the educational institutions, and it is the part of their responsibilities to have this kind of knowledge, to have this kind of resources and the documents, and also to make them public for the others. So, as I have said, beliefs, then infrastructural barriers, lack of knowledge of policies, rights, facilities, opportunity, and resources, and lack of trainings to address the issues, concerns, and obstacles. If we can take care of these four aspects, like first, change the mindset, attitude, and beliefs. Second, check the infrastructural barriers. If there are infrastructural limitations in your institution, so try to see that how you can get rid of them, how you can make the improvisations. Then the knowledge of policies, rights, facilities, and opportunities along with the resources, and then the proper type of trainings which are required to address these kind of issues. So these four challenges, they can be taken into consideration in order to overcome. Now, this is 4:30. We have covered two parts so far. First part was that what the policy says. Second part was what the different acts are saying. And third part was that what kind of challenges could be there. Now, I said that if we really want to achieve the targets, if we really want to have the inclusive systems, then we need to now take care of the third stage or third strategy, and that third strategy is self-analysis by the institutions. So what can be that self-analysis? I am just showing you. This is the part of criteria, evaluation criteria. I have taken this from a educational institution of the US, and I really found it useful, and I feel that every educational institution shall do this kind of self-analysis in order to be more disabled friendly and to be more inclusive. I'm showing you this. So first is like how self-analysis can be done. First is, as in education, we need to understand about our vision, leadership, and what message through us is reaching to our stakeholders. So first is, you can see that in this sheet, there are 5 kind of ratings. Y is for yes, N is for no, S is for somewhat, DK is don't know, and A means not applicable. So the first is, our organization is actively committed to issue of equity, inclusion, and diversity. So how do you feel about this? Each person in the educational institution can do this kind of analysis. Why every person needs to be included? Because if we are committed towards the equity, inclusion, and diversity, then every member of our institution will be familiar with this kind of commitment. They will be familiar with the words. They must be knowing that what is happening in their institutions regarding these aspects. So how they are answering to this question, whether they are writing yes or no or somewhat, or they say that they don't know at all, or they say that it is not applicable at all to my institution. This is going to give us the picture about our organization's commitment. Then a very important thing in the organization is our mission statements and our vision statements. So does our mission and the vision statements include the references to the goals of equity, inclusion, and diversity? Also, we need to understand that vision statement is always a long-term statement. If I am envisioning that after 5 years, all students from my university or my school, they shall be employable despite of their disabilities, then this is a vision for a long term. Mission is always a small term goal. So mission could be that for this year, I will be taking into this much percentage of the disabled students, and I will see to it, or our institution will see to it that all of them, they are mainstreamed in the normal classrooms. They are able to study in the regular classrooms with the other students. We have proper resources for them in our library. We have special provisions for them. So this is the mission statement. So our mission statement and the vision statements, they shall be very clear about the equity, inclusion, and diversity. I would request all of you to go back and check whether your organization's mission and vision statements have the provisions for the equity, inclusion, or diversity or not. Then institutions, are the principles of equity and inclusion are embedded in our mission, vision, and core values? Then do we have resources which are dedicated to equity, inclusion, and diversity issues, including the professional development for managers and staff? So as I have already discussed a lot about it, that if we are talking about the resources could be in form of the building infrastructure, that there is barrier environment. The inclusion, the resources can be in the form of the knowledge of the different policies and the availability of those policies and acts and the legal provisions, and they are there in the public domain. There could be the resources related to the different needs. Maybe the you require the braille textbooks. You may require some kind of special softwares, etc., etc. Recently I visited one of the very eminent colleges of Delhi University, and I found that on every door there was a QR code, right from the principal's room to the administrative office, to the library, to the labs, to the washrooms. A special QR code was there. So I inquired them that what is the purpose of this. They said that our NCC teacher is visually impaired, and she has prepared this by counting the steps from the gate. With the help of the computer science students, she created this QR code so that anybody who is entering right from the gate and does not have to ask to anybody that where is the library, help me to go to the library, help me to go to the principal office. So uh, uh, with the help of their mobile phone and with the accessibility of that QR code, right after entering the gate, they can reach to that room directly. Now this is the accessibility, that a person can move around without taking the help of anybody. So this small action of that college speaks about their commitment and their core values regarding their regarding their mindset about the needs of the visually impaired people. So this kind of atmosphere should be there. Then the fifth part is our equity and inclusion values are reflected in our internal and external communication, such as program descriptions, outreach material, websites. And I've done you a very circulating any journal, any e-newsletter or other newsletter. If it is embedded with the QR codes or the newsletter or to the circulars, then that is going to help him. Now, second is after the leadership, what we need to understand, the teaching and public services. I believe that all those who have joined today, they are actually the university teachers or the college teachers. So for them, it is very important to address the responsive research and the teaching and the public services. So the first part is here, we regularly and systematically collect and analyze data about equity, inclusion, and diversity. We always talk about action research. We are talking about the research about the can be the part of our self-assessment. Second is we use program assessment and evaluations that assess our ability to be responsive to the needs of our increasingly diverse state, national and global context. Third is we actively develop resources for supporting our equity, inclusion, and diversity needs. I will be sharing this presentation with the faculty members. So you can go back and see that in your institutions, can you do this kind of self-analysis and what picture it is giving you about your organization. Then our manager and staff are familiar with our internal data gathering and analysis, resources relevant to equity, inclusion, and diversity, as well as CAL answers and other campus-based data resources. So that means data is to be collected. It is not only to be collected, it has to be analyzed properly. And after the analysis of the data, the improvisations which can be made in the existing facilities can be done, shall be done. We research new developments in the programs assessment for equity, inclusion, and diversity. So we regularly need to assess and see that whether our program assessments are bringing any further developments in our institution at the level of the resource generation or the value addition. Next is we encourage innovation that addresses equity and inclusion in our workplace, curriculum development and teaching practices where relevant. So innovations, like as I've shared with you the QR code thing, it is actually an innovative step by the teacher that she understood the problem and she took this initiative and she empowered the whole institution, all sections of the college with a QR code so that nobody feels the problem. Our curriculum development, teaching, advising, and outreach practices they offer all groups, including those from underrepresented communities, the opportunities to fully engage. So this is also required. Then next is if the research is being done, then how we expand pathways for access and success for our workforce. So our division, hold just a minute, please. So our division or department actively values and seeks to hire a diverse staff. So that means if we understand that we have the problems to be addressed, then are we taking into the consideration that not only the students or the learners, they are from the diverse background, but our staff members, they shall also be from the diverse background. So that diversity shall be visible in the workforce also. Second is we employed best practices for fair and inclusive hiring and advancement, such as active outreach to underrepresented communities, appointing diverse hiring committees, using clear hiring criteria, supporting. So that means this particular part is talking about the diversity in on the campus, and this is the diversity in the staff members, in the faculty members, that people from the underrepresented groups are there, and people from the disability background are also there. Then all the staff have division or departmentals to support to continue their professional growth and career advancement. So whether the staff is from if the staff is from the different background, the diverse background, professional growth opportunities and the career advancement opportunities shall be made for everybody. I've also discussed all that. Even the RPWD Act says that no promotion can be denied. So along with the promotion, professional growth opportunities like the training opportunities, opportunities to work in different areas shall be provided to all types of members. We provide mentoring opportunities for all levels of staff and management internally and through other campus. So this complete part is about the diversity of the talent pool. And this, when we say diversity of the talent pool, that means this includes all the three stakeholders: students, faculty members, and the other staff members. Okay. Now, if you have appointed diverse staff members, then next thing is, do the institution has the succession plan that ensures diversity in the workforce in the coming years? Maybe it is possible that right now, when you do the self analysis of your institution, this kind of provision is not there, or the diversity is not visible there. But if it is not visible there, then a plan shall be made that how the diversity can be made part of the institution in the coming years. Our manager and staff engage in the professional development and or dialogues about the topics related to the equity, inclusion, and diversity. And this means not only engaging the people from the different backgrounds, but uh, making a culture of having the open dialogue regarding their problems, regarding their needs, regarding uh, uh, their strength. So all these things, they shall be the part of the institutional culture and environment. And the performance management tools also shall be made in order to track and build the capacity in the areas. So fair and transparent system should be there to achieve the excellence of all staff members. Uh, is for the success of the staff members. Now, after the success of the staff members, pathways for the access and success of the clients shall also be taken into the consideration. So analysis at that part is also required. And this means, who is the client? Client are the students for the educational institutions. So for the students, now we need to again analyze that whether the vision or the departmental values seeks to support students, faculty, or other staff clients, diverse, racial, ethnic, gender, socioeconomic, immigrant, international, sexual orientation, disabilities, or abilities, or the religious backgrounds in our programs and services. Whether the direct support is provided wherever required to the people from all sorts of backgrounds. Then support for the critical transition of the students from the initial years. Now here, critical transition of students from the initial years, say in the during the COVID time, what happens? Many students who were otherwise not belonging to the socio-economic disadvantaged background or to the disability sector, but they faced lots of problems during the COVID time. Some lost their parents, some have lost their means of bread and butter. They saw lots of traumas because of the poor medical facilities which were available there, because of the lots of the problems which were there. Lots of help was not provided, was not available. People saw losing their relatives, their parents, and they were not even able to manage to meet them or to pay their last homage to them. So lots of lots of problems they faced. Now, due to that, they suffered a lot, and the mental health issues created. So if some student is not belonging to a diverse category, or some student is not belonging to the disability category, but has this kind of problem, so this is again a problem which needs to be taken care of by the faculty, by the counselors, by everybody. Maybe you might have come across the students who have said that after this COVID experience, they are not able to keep track of their academic progress, because they are not able to focus on their goals. Lots of other things are keeping their mind engaged. So, are we able to provide support to all sorts of students? Are we able to take care of their needs? So, if we are able to uh, listen to them and to guide them properly, so all sorts of students, if they are getting place in our system and they are getting our attention, that means we have this mindset that uh, we will be respecting everyone's need, and we are committed to the equity and inclusion issues. So, the kind of criteria which this particular sheet has, it is about the different kind of needs which are to be addressed regarding the students' issues. So, next is to have the healthy and engaging campus climate. Now, if we talk about the healthy campus climate, that means again about all these issues, whether they are the issues of the gender, whether this is the issue of the ethnicity or the religion, sexual orientation of the people, people's belief, faith, socio-economical, economic status, disabilities, abilities, nationalities, all should be talked in a very, very positive manner. All pertinent issues shall be discussed in a positive manner, and without pointing fingers to anybody, without giving negative comments about anybody. So, an open culture should be created in the institution, where everybody feels respected and feels that their opinion matters. Their opinion find values here, and they are not neglected or avoided due to their own limitations uh, or the different virtues. So there is a clear culture of respect, collegiality, intergroup dialogue, collaboration across differences in all levels and positions of divisions or department, etc. If any issue of insensitivity come into the picture, if any kind of exclusion, disrespect, harassment is observed at the workplace, there should be a proper policies and the proper committees to address those issues, and the outcome of such things shall be made very, very clear, that if people are not able to respect the equity and inclusion policy of the institution, then what kind of consequences could be there? So, there shall be the culture of dialogue and discussions, as well as this should be made very clear to everyone that everyone's opinion has to be respected. So we need to see that fundamental duties and rights has to be taken, they have to coexist. Then all students, faculty, and staff should feel comfortable and welcome to the workplace. And the support, proper support is available everywhere, be it the classrooms, be it the cafeterias, be it the building, everywhere. Now, I would like all of you, because these sheets I will be sharing, lots of sheets were there. So I would like all of you, I have been asked to give you the 5 MCQs. But instead of that, I would like all of you to write in the chat box just start thinking about 3 to 5 years ahead, and visualize that how your division, how your department will be uh, taking this idea of equity, inclusion, and diversity forward. So I would like all of you to just do this brainstorm. Began by looking ahead 3 to 5 years and envision your division or department's long-term hopes and ideals in relation to equity, inclusion, and diversity. And if your questions to spark this kind of vision may include that if we are successful in advancing equity, inclusion, and diversity in our mission programs and service workforce, what would that look like from 5 years from now in research, in teaching, in public service, in expanding pathways to access and success, in fostering and engaging and healthy campus climate, and what kind of changes you want to achieve. Please write down in the chat box. I would like to read your opinion about this. Any one thing which is coming to your mind that you will be able to bring this kind of change in the research, in the teaching, in the research. So you have 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, I will start reading your chats. Okay. Some people are saying that repeat the question. Please write down that how will you make the change in your own departments or divisions, and write down any one thing which you feel that you would like to have this kind of research. You will make this kind of resource. You will make your building accessible in this way. You will change your teaching pedagogy in this way. Any one thing which you feel you can bring into your department as your commitment towards bringing the inclusion in your domain. The question is there on your screen. You can read this and you can write anything in response to this. Okay, some people are writing that they will be using AI and machine learning. Some people are writing that they will be using digitization, collaborating learning, use of skits. Teachers can learn Braille, technology, software, implementation of online attendance marking, Many of you are also writing that ERP softwares can be used, experiential learning approach. What kind of research? I have not found anything related to the research. Experiential learning, easy communication, problem-based learning, adopt advanced technologies, biologist in remote areas, how to deal with ADHD patients, flipped classrooms, actual implementation in the education. Now, those who are asking about the ADHD patients, now to cater to the attention deficit hyper activity disorder, number one, the teachers have to have the patience, make the buddy learners. So peer learners in the strategy works. I don't know I expect that the people who are here, they are actually catering to the university students. So by the time that students reach to you, you can use lots of techniques for them. They feel more comfortable sometimes on the computers, so they can use desktop, laptops, tabs, etc. But otherwise, the peer making of a buddy system always help them. Then the teacher and the co-learners have to be more patient with these children. If sometimes they are annoyed and they behave in a very different manner because they're more active, so they need a kind of break after every 5-7 minutes. So you can allow them to move out of the class to have the round of the building after 7-10 minutes. Give them 2 minutes break. Uh, Give them work in small chunks. And if sometimes they behave irrationally, don't react to it. Sometimes, if you are not reacting or if you are not responding, then they get settled down after few minutes. So inclusion actually means that you understand the problem of somebody and you are not reacting as per your expectations or the norms which are there in your mindset. Okay. So you need to give space to the people. I can also read some more responses. Learning use of ICT, everybody is saying. Technology can easily deliver, but technology can always deliver, but then you have to see that right kind of technology shall be there. Every technology is not for everyone. Adopt advanced technologies in education and research. Okay. Also, you need to understand that what kind of special provisions are there in the examination pattern, be it the board examinations at the school or in the universities. For example, there is provision of writer for some people. There is provision of extra time for some people. There is provision of change of subject for some people. There is provision of even the prompter for in few cases. Then there is provision of use of technology uh, instead of writing the paper manually. So different kind of provisions are there. So you should have the knowledge of all kind of criterias, all kind of policies which are applicable to your institution. So every university might have the different policies in this regard. Somebody is writing global scenario is changing, so we have to change. So educational, yes, you have to change. You need to have the ICT, but you can also have the flipped classroom, blended approaches there. Sometimes किसी ने कहा कि कुछ मराठी में लिखने के लिए, ये देखिए ये भी डाइवर्सिटी है. कि आप मुझको झेल रहे हैं, और मुझे मराठी तो नहीं आती, लेकिन मैं हिंदी भाषा का प्रयोग कर सकती हूँ। तो हम लोग अपनी अपने अपने आसपास हमें जो लग रहा है कि जरूरतें हैं, उसके अनुसार अपने बच्चों की जरूरतों को समझते हुए उनकी प्रोग्रेस को ट्रैक करने के लिए प्रोविजन बनाएं, उनके लिए रिसोर्सेज जनरेट करें, उनके लिए पेडागोजीज को भी चेंज करने की जरूरत है कई बार। उनके लिए छोटे छोटे, आपको जरूरी नहीं है कि आप जो पूरा लेक्चर है वो सारा एक साथ ही उनको दे दें। उनके लिए छोटे छोटे चंक में भी छोटे छोटे वीडियोस बनाए जा सकते हैं, छोटी छोटी प्रेजेंटेशंस बनाई जा सकती हैं। जेंडर सेंसिटाइजेशन की बात भी कुछ लोग कर रहे हैं। तो आप लोग जिस एरिया में आपको पता है कि वहां पर क्या प्रॉब्लम ज्यादा प्रिवेलेंट है, उसके अकॉर्डिंगली आप अपनी पॉलिसीज बना सकते हैं। अगर आप किसी ऐसे एरिया में कि आपको लग रहा है कि वहाँ महिलाओं को पढ़ने के अवसर कम मिल रहे हैं, तो आप ऐसी पॉलिसीज बनाइए कि ज्यादा से ज्यादा बच्चियां जो है वो स्कूल में कॉलेज में पढ़ने आ सकें। अगर उनके प्रॉब्लम्स कुछ सेफ्टी इश्यूज हैं, तो आप देखिए कि उसको कैसे एड्रेस कर सकते हैं। अगर वहां पर कुछ पेरेंट्स के अपने रिजर्वेशंस हैं, उनके अपने कुछ मिथ्स हैं, कुछ बिलीफ्स हैं, तो उनसे जाकर के बातचीत करिए, क्योंकि समाज के अंदर भी जाना पड़ेगा। केवल कॉलेज में या स्कूल में बैठे बैठे नहीं काम होगा। बहुत बार हमको समाज के किसी हिस्से को स्कूल तक, स्कूल की या कॉलेज की दहलीज तक लाने के लिए उनके बीच में जाके काम करना पड़ेगा, उनको समझाना पड़ेगा, उनकी प्रॉब्लम्स को समझना पड़ेगा, और फिर उनकी प्रॉब्लम्स को समझते हुए आपको देखना पड़ेगा कि आप कैसे उनकी मदद कर सकते हैं। तो मुझे अच्छा लग रहा है कि आप लोग इस डायरेक्शन में सोच रहे हैं। और किसी ने ये भी लिखा है कि अवर डिपार्टमेंट ट्राई टू शेयर मॉरल वैल्यूज ऑफ दिस इनोवेशन पॉलिसी। मुझे ये इनोवेटिव पॉलिसी, मैं ऐसा समझ रही हूँ कि आप ये जो कुछ भी लिख रहे हैं ये डाइवर्सिटी और इंक्लूजन के रिगार्डिंग ही लिख रहे हैं। सो डाइवर्सिटी और इंक्लूजन को लेकर के हमारी क्या मॉरल रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है, इसके ऊपर भी अगर आप लोगों को जागरूक कर रहे हैं, अवेयर कर रहे हैं, तो ये बहुत ही अच्छी बात है। जागीरदार अजरा जी ने ये लिखा है। अब आपने ये बात को समझना है कि आपको तीन तरह से अपने आप को एनालाइज करना है, बिल्डिंग इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर और रिसोर्सेज की टर्म्स में। उसके बाद आपको ये देखना है कि आपको एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव स्ट्रेटजीज कैसे बनानी है। जैसे आपने बहुत सारी अभी एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव स्ट्रेटजी के भी एग्जांपल यहाँ दिए हैं कि आप ईआरपी सिस्टम यूज करेंगे, आप अटेंडेंस सॉफ्टवेयर यूज करेंगे, आप ज्यादा जो है वो आईटी का इस्तेमाल करेंगे, आप आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस को यूज करेंगे, सॉफ्टवेयर का प्रोविजन बनाएंगे। तो ये सब एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव स्ट्रेटजीज हो सकती हैं। और एकेडमिक स्ट्रेटजीज कैसे हो सकती हैं कि आप कैसे उनकी नीड्स को आइडेंटिफाई कर रहे हो, उनके अकॉर्डिंगली आप करिकुलम में क्या चेंज कर रहे हो। फॉर एग्जाम्पल, कई बार ये होता है कि अगर आप देखेंगे कि जब बोर्ड के पेपर्स बनते हैं, तो क्वेश्चन पेपर्स एक तो नॉर्मल स्टूडेंट्स के लिए होते हैं, और एक उन स्टूडेंट्स के लिए होते हैं जो ब्लाइंड स्टूडेंट्स हैं, विजुअली इम्पेयर्ड स्टूडेंट्स हैं। उनके पेपर अलग होते हैं, उसमें जो साइज होता है फॉन्ट का वो बहुत बड़ा होता है, ताकि उसका मतलब है कि अगर किसी का ब्लर विजन है या बहुत लो विजन है, तो वो भी उस पेपर को पढ़ पाए। उसमें ऐसे क्वेश्चंस नहीं होते हैं जहां पर ड्राइंग करनी पड़े, या जो ज्योमेट्री के थ्योरेटिकल क्वेश्चंस होते हैं, लेकिन ऐसे क्वेश्चंस नहीं होते हैं जहां पे कंस्ट्रक्शन करना पड़े, जहां ग्राफ बनाना पड़े। तो ये क्या किया गया है, उनकी नीड्स के अकॉर्डिंगली एक तरह का एडजस्टमेंट किया गया है ना। तो ये करिकुलम और असेसमेंट भी एडजस्टमेंट किया है। तो एज ए टीचर, एज एन एकेडमिशियन, आपको ये देखना है कि आप उनके लिए किस तरह से कंटेंट में एडजस्टमेंट कर सकते हैं, किस तरह से उनको असेसमेंट में एडजस्टमेंट्स कर सकते हैं। तो हर लेवल के ऊपर आपको करिकुलम आपका फ्लेक्सिबल होना चाहिए, पैडागॉजी से लेकर के असेसमेंट तक। इसके बाद ये मैंने एक सैंपल वर्कशीट दी है कि आप लोग ये इस तरह की एक वर्कशीट, एक प्लान टेम्पलेट अपने ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में यूज कर सकते हैं, जहां पर आप ये लिख सकते हैं कि हमारी इस साल के लिए क्या प्रायोरिटीज रहेंगी इंक्लूसिवनेस को अचीव करने के लिए। ठीक है। और वो प्रायोरिटीज लिखने के बाद में फिर आप ये लिखिए कि उसके लिए क्या रेलेवेंट फैक्टर्स हैं और क्या अजम्पशंस हैं, क्यों आप लिखना लेना चाह रहे हैं, आप उसकी सिग्निफिकेंस क्या है जो आपने प्रायोरिटी सिलेक्ट करी है। इसके बाद आप अपना लॉन्ग टर्म प्लान भी लिख सकते हैं और उसके बाद में शॉर्ट टर्म प्लान भी लिख सकते हैं। फिर आप अपनी स्ट्रैटेजीज बना सकते हैं और फिर उसके लिए हर स्ट्रैटेजी के लिए डिलीवरेबल्स क्या होंगे ये लिखने की इसकी जरूरत है। एक डॉक्यूमेंट में आपको और दिखा रही हूँ यहाँ पर, ये है एक्सेसिबल इंडिया कैंपेन का। ये इसमें स्ट्रेटजीज फॉर इंक्लूजन लिखी गई है, मेकिंग स्कूल्स एक्सेसिबल टू चिल्ड्रन विद डिसेबिलिटीज। और इस प्लान के अंदर बिल्डिंग से लेकर के और बाकी सब तरह के प्रोविजंस की बात की गई है। यहाँ तक कि देखिए, आप बिल्डिंग एक्सेसिबिलिटी के लिए क्या क्या जरूरी है। जैसे हमने QR कोड की बात करी थी, उसी तरह से QR कोड तो आपने इसलिए लिखा कि अगर कोई विजुअली इम्पेयर्ड है तो स्टेप्स को काउंट करके कैसे वो उस रूम तक पहुंच पाए। बहुत बार ये होता है कि आपको बड़े फॉन्ट साइज की जरूरत होती है। बहुत सारे लोग ऐसे होते हैं जिनकी रीडिंग डिसेबिलिटीज होती हैं, लेकिन पिक्चर एबिलिटीज अच्छी होती हैं, विजुअलाइजेशन अच्छा कर लेते हैं। तो उनके लिए हर जगह पर, हर रूम के बाहर आपके पिक्चर बेस्ड नेम प्लेट्स होने चाहिए। जैसे यहाँ लिखा है स्टाफ रूम, और आप स्टाफ रूम के साथ में पिक्चर देख सकते हैं कि कैसी लगाई गई है। CWSN का टॉयलेट है तो उसके साथ में एक सिंबॉलिक पिक्चर। तो जो सिंबल्स हैं वो एक बड़ा इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट प्ले करते हैं, क्योंकि विजुअलाइजेशन is also a very important thing. So those who don't have the reading writing abilities, at least they can read pictures, they can understand through pictures. Drinking water है तो यहाँ पर टैप है, लाइब्रेरी है तो बुक्स बनी हुई है, कंप्यूटर लैब है तो कंप्यूटर बना हुआ है। सो ये जो इंफोग्राफिक स्टाइल है, इस इंफोग्राफिक स्टाइल के साथ में भी आप काम कर सकते हैं। इसके अलावा मैं आपको, बिफोर वी लीव, आई वुड लाइक टू say, I would again would like to share with you all one example, because why we need to understand and to listen, understand the examples. Okay. If you can find the inspiring examples nearby, then it always motivates you to take a giant step. So you can take first step and then a giant leap by your actions. So in 2012 we started, my school has a very good yoga curriculum. So we started teaching that curriculum to the visually impaired students, and this was a group of the visually impaired students who were taught acrobatic yoga. So this is the most difficult yoga to perform. Initially the teachers, they took time to understand their needs, and they also took time to understand the teacher's instructions. But gradually we were able to build a team, and that team became the first time of the Asia who was performing acrobatic yoga. And this was a group of 13 people. These 13 students, they were the part of an NGO, and most of them, they felt that they were like abandoned by their families, because they were sent to the NGO. They were not allowed to stay with their family members. They were getting different kind of environment. So when they got this opportunity to gel with the normal school students, and they got the opportunity to learn and then to perform also, they got lots of platforms for their performance. They emerged like anything. They become the star team. They performed on almost all the TV channels like India Got Talent show and the ZTV and all that. But the best part is that with this, they gained the confidence, and they shared with me that when they went back to their homes during the summer vacation, some of them, they were not even invited by their family members to their homes during the summer vacation. But once they achieved this kind of name and fame, when they were able to made the name and fame for themselves. They became the stars. They were invited by their family members during the summer vacations. And some of them, they shared with me that for the first time, our family members, they recognized us. They introduced us to their to the cousins, to their friends, and so on. And one of them even told me that many of my cousins' friends asked me to teach this acrobatic yoga, and I said that I don't teach in free. I charge for it. He started charging, and he was able to start his coaching classes, and he was able to make himself dependent, self-dependent. He was not depending on anybody. This boy is now preparing for the IPS examination. He's preparing for the UPSC. But the only reason to share this small example is that your one step can bring the change, that drastic change in somebody's life. They may get the purpose of their life and they can become the torch bearers for the society. So now these students, they are very good motivators. You invite them to speak on any platform and they are able to change the mindset of the whole community. So I think that this session of today will inspire all of us to prepare the more inclusive world and to develop the respect for everybody's diversity. So thank you very much. If you have any questions, then you can ask. We can discuss for 5-7 minutes.
पार्टिसिपेंट को सूचना है कि आप अनम्यूट कर सकते हैं।
First of all, would like
Yes, sir.
to thank you, ma'am. Can I?
Yes, put on. Please read.
First of all, would like to thank you, ma'am. Thank you for sharing the information with us. It was really a knowledgeable views, and now we can think from every aspect. That is what I can share with the forum. We have touched almost every aspect, and we will think about it, and we will definitely implement as per the requirement.
Thank you so much. I think somebody was writing for the students from the slum areas. I just want to say one thing, that please don't have any preconcepts in your mind. Don't think that this person can do this and this person cannot do this. Every child has the strength. The only thing is that we need to have good eyes to understand, and the good intentions to understand their strength and to help them. So you can do wonders with your positive mindset.
Because madam, what happens, this slum area, these just students coming from the diverse communities.
Yes.
Basically, they have their own problems regarding to the survival, then the fooding.
Right. Sir, everybody has problem. Don't we have the problems in our lives? Everybody is diverse. Everybody has problem. But I think the only thing is that if we can understand their problem and can help them in a way which can help them to uplift. It is not our focus should not always be on the course completion. As a teacher, we need to take a step ahead and we need to provide them social and the emotional support also, apart from the academic support. And once you are able to provide the emotional support, then what happens is that the person's self-esteem raises. If the person's self-esteem raises, he is able to understand, okay, yes, I can also do this, I can also do that. So I think the only thing is that now you have to give the right kind of opportunity which is required.
Yeah. Okay.
Hello.
Huh.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
ma'am.
Can you hear me, ma'am?
Yes, yes.
Yes, ma'am. I'm Professor Dr. Vijay Nikam from Anna Saheb Avte College, Mansar.
Yes.
One of my student is she's deaf and dumb, means she is not able to listen, and sometimes she is not able to speak. Means she's speaking, but her pronunciation is not clear. So we are facing very much difficulty to teach her. Can you suggest something for her?
No, pronunciation is problem. Can write well,
Yes, she
because
write
if
well.
she, yeah, so if she faces difficulty by expressing herself vocally, then you give her opportunities to write more and more, because you cannot change her disability status. That can be done only by the doctor. If you know, if you have access to good doctor, if you know that somebody can give her good treatment, you can suggest that. But here, as a teacher, your objective is to understand that she is able to absorb whatever. Yeah.
Okay, but
So
what
your
happens?
objective is to see whether the child is able to understand or not. है ना?
Yes,
So give
yes,
her
ma'am.
the writing opportunities. Let her write the blogs. Let her write on the social media, social platforms, in the newsletters, in the form of articles and so on.
Okay, because every time in our commerce classes there are 110 students minimum. So when we are going to focus on her, other student will distract.
Yeah.
So in that way, we are not.
I also faced this problem, sir, because my subject is mathematics. And
Okay.
I remember, yeah. So this was happened with me also in one of the sessions, because the girl was taking too much time to tell her, to share her problem. And the other students, they got distracted or they got impatient. So first of all, I told them that don't get impatient. See how much effort she's making to ask the problems. Sometimes you people are not asking whether, although you can ask, but you hesitate. So she is taking that much courage. And second thing is that I also give me in writing your problems. So we need to see that we need to find out different ways. We have to create empathy and respect also, and at the same time address the problem of the child also.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
So in the same problem, ma'am,
Yeah.
as Sir Asink. So in such cases, as you have discussed already, that home-based education, whatever with a family member,
Yes.
they support him or her. This is one of the way.
This is one of the way. We have to, we need to find different ways and means. I don't say that everything can be done in the college, but I would also like to share with you that there is a program by the government of India now. This is known as the New India Literacy Program, Nav Bharat Sakshar Program. And with the help of this program, they want to cater to every kind of child, every kind of learner, right from the age of 15 years to up to whatever age, whether they are of 100 years or of the 15 years. And in this program, they are now making school students and the college students as part of the program, that they need to volunteer, and using different apps, they can teach the people these people, they may be the dropouts, these may be the people who don't have the access to the schools, but have the access to the smartphones. So lots, and the Samajik Chetna Kendra has to be developed in the schools and the colleges. So to cater to such people, you can have student volunteers can come forward and help these kind of children. So we need to understand that what all provisions are there and how we can make it possible. So
Yeah.
I always say that first thing is mindset.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. So can we now wind up the session?
Coordinator sir says.
मैम एक मिनट ना कोऑर्डिनेटर से ज्वाइन होते हैं.
Sure.
It's a nice lecture, ma'am.
Thank you so much. It's not lecture, actually, it is experience, because I
Experience,
started
yeah,
this
yeah.
practice 2004.
ये
So when
NEP
people
के
were
बारे में
not
बहुत
even
सारा
thinking about this. But I
NEP
also
के
learned
बारे
from the
में
parents and students.
ओके ओके NEP के बारे में तो बहुत सुना है, लेकिन एक्चुअली क्या है, बेसिक थिंग्स उसमें क्या है, चेंज क्या होने वाला है, और क्या हम क्या कर सकते हैं, बीइंग अ टीचर, व्हाट इज आवर रोल, इतना डिटेल अभी तक नहीं सुना था. आपने बहुत सिस्टमेटिक प्रेजेंटेशन दिया इसके बारे में.
Thank you so much.
Ma'am, I would like to request you, ma'am, can you please provide this PPT to us on our group?
Sure, I will be sending this to the sir and he will share it.
Okay.
Right?
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you.
Anita ma'am, you are there?
Yes, I am very much here.
Okay, okay. So you have concluded your session now.
Thank you.
Yes, yes.
So
We are thankful to you, ma'am,
I
for
thank
being here.
everyone to be the patient listeners.
Yes.
It was a 3 hours long session.
Thank you,
Thank you
ma'am.
so
Thank
much.
you, ma'am. On behalf of this
Okay.
entire group, my special thanks to you.
Thank you.
Okay. So all participants, we will join at 2:15 tomorrow. 2:15 पर आपकी अटेंडेंस होंगी. सभी को अपने रोल नंबर चैट बॉक्स में डालना पड़ेगा.
Okay.
Okay.
Sir, as we requested to ma'am, वो PPT आप शेयर कर
बिल्कुल कर दूंगा, मैं कर दूंगा, ग्रुप पे शेयर कर दूंगा.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.